Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about the booming real estate market in the metaverse. Additionally, I'm going to talk about a patent that was just filed by the Disney company. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about an opinion piece on thehill.com by Avi Loeb. He's I believe he's either like a astrophysicist or an astrobiologist. Not sure, but you've seen him on Joe Rogan probably. He's made a number of appearances there to talk about extraterrestrials and things like that. But he just came out with an opinion piece regarding virtual reality and the implications in the context of extraterrestrial life in outer space and the Fermi paradox, actually. So let's just dive right in here. So when it comes to the virtual reality real estate market, the name you may have heard of, if you've heard about it at all, is Decentraland. And that's a blockchain company where people can engage with their avatars, and then they can buy plots of land, and this has become a booming market really ever since Facebook changed its name to Meta and made that announcement. So it's booming to a degree that the cheapest land as of January 7th was going for about $11,000. So that's a 1x1 parcel going for $11,000, between 3 and 4 Ethereum. The Ethereum price has been kind of volatile, as well as Bitcoin and all of crypto. It's been volatile over the last, month or so. So, we'll see that go up and down, but the fact that the cheapest land there is over 10,000, it brings some important questions up. It really speaks to the rapid growth of the metaverse, thanks in large part to Facebook's change to Meta. When it comes to virtual reality real estate, supply and demand is going to be really important to measure. If there was a company, take Amazon for example, and they launch a section of the metaverse, a virtual reality social area, a virtual reality locale. If they launch this, they have close to unlimited computing power. It's trivial for them to host probably 500 billion sections, or at the very least one area of land for every person in the world, which is good. Absolutely. I personally think that one of the great parts about the metaverse is that land on the globe is finite, and those size constraints are much less of a problem in the metaverse. So it's going to have to be the case that one company, one platform, one locale in the metaverse is not monopolizing the game. I think one of the reasons why Decentraland is doing so well financially is, of course, one, Meta doesn't have any sort of ownership ability in Facebook Horizons at this point. Decentraland caught fire from a publicity standpoint, so that was good for them. And land is kind of sparse right now. There are not too many places in the metaverse at this point. You have Allspace, VR Chat, Facebook Meta Horizons, Decentraland, a few other, blockchain-based metaversal locales, and Rec Room, and a few places like that. But outside of that, there are not too many. I think within the next few years, we'll probably see a number pop up. I'm actually working on a virtual reality locale for the metaverse using WebXR, which I'll have a lot of updates for you in the coming, probably 10 weeks. I hope to have a alpha, pre-alpha, ready for people to try out within 8 weeks. I'm putting final touches on there, working the kinks out of that. It's going to be related to the Hive blockchain. So, stay tuned for that. But supply and demand is going to matter, and I think that the supply is going to increase. I think demand likely will increase. So that's that when it comes to Decentraland and its boom. The real estate market in the metaverse is flourishing, and it will continue to do so for quite a long time, I imagine. Despite the volatility of crypto, the long-term trend will be a trend upward in ownership and hopefully value as well. So next thing I wanted to talk about was Disney. They have filed for a patent. The inventors, the patent is for a virtual world simulator that will be external to the participant within the experience. So it's augmented reality, not utilizing glasses or any other face covering implement. So the inventors of this are Dane Coffey, Evan Goldberg, Stephen Chapman, Daniel Baker, Matthew Duell, Mark Mine. So round of applause for them. What this is, because I believe credit should be given where credit is due, and the credit is due to them. So this patent, what it is, hypothetically this might be in a park or some other sort of experience that Disney offers in person. What it has is a projector, it has tracking cameras, and it has the real world, and then it has the viewer. So what happens are the tracking cameras are going to track the person. So imagine yourself walking around a room. What it's going to do is track your position, and then the projector is going to change the images that are being projected onto the real world area. They're going to change the world to meet your perspective from where you're standing. So as you move, it's going to track your movement, and it's going to change what it looks like. The idea being, this is quite similar to what happens with virtual reality as you turn your head. You have location, and then the geometry of the scene changes as your head moves. So, but this is going to be done with tracking cameras and a projector rather than, with Quest, you don't have to track where the user's eyes are. They're directly in front of the screen. So, a lot easier when you got something strapped to your head. This is probably going to require AI for the tracking, and then virtual world simulator in person. Voila. That will probably be used in Disney theme parks at some point. When asked about whether or not they have concrete plans on putting it in the park yet, they said no, but the patent means that they're probably working on it. And hopefully we'll see something like that in the future. I think Disney's always Disney has great production quality, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do. They also have some great IP, so we could see some cool experiences like Star Wars. And when I say IP, I mean what they own. I don't mean necessarily what came from them. But the Star Wars franchise, they own that. So Marvel as well. Interestingly, ESPN. So maybe they'll do some sort of sports-related thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, cool patent. Link to it in the description if you want to check it out. Last thing I wanted to talk about is that virtual reality, the concept of it, is a solution to Fermi's paradox. And Fermi's paradox is, to put it succinctly, where are all the aliens? Where is everybody other than us? Why haven't we heard from people? So Avi Loeb is a theoretical physicist. You've probably seen him on Joe Rogan. He talks about aliens a lot. Ponders regarding Fermi's paradox and hopes to be part of the confirmation of extraterrestrial life. Most people already believe that there's likely something out there, but he wants to be part of that confirmation. He talks about this comet that had peculiar movement patterns, and it was anomalous in some other properties as well. Point being, Avi Loeb, theoretical physicist, really into aliens. he wrote an opinion piece for The Hill regarding virtual realities and how they might be a solution to Fermi's paradox. The idea would be that where are they? They're all strapped into a headset. They're all in the matrix. They're all in their own matrices, and this is definitely a possible solution. It would be hard to confirm unless Elon Musk is successful and we become a spacefaring civilization, and we one day land on a planet and they're all strapped into their matrix. But it has huge overlap with the simulation hypothesis. So the simulation hypothesis is the hypothesis that there is a high probability that we live in a simulated world. It's based on some assumptions. One assumption is that technology will increase. So if technology can increase to the point where our digital world simulations can have the same fidelity as the real world. So that's if number one. If number two is that, if we survive, if a species can survive long enough for this time period required to get to that fidelity to occur, and then if we are an old enough universe for there to have been conscious beings such as ourselves that have lived that period of time, then once that first civilization has reached the ability to recreate a digital world with high enough fidelity that it's indistinguishable from real life, then at that point you now have the potential for exponential infinite set of those virtual worlds. And so assuming those ifs, then it's a high probability that we are one of those virtual worlds. We're in one of those virtual worlds. So, if you adhere to that, then Fermi's paradox would be solved already, in that we could just be a virtual world that doesn't have anybody. We could be a virtual world where people are making their own virtual worlds that's constrained to the point where people are making their own virtual worlds, since we actually can't get to other planets that might actually exist in the virtual world if there were a constraint that stops us from doing so. But what he's pointing out is that one possibility too is that even if we are all in a physical world rather than a virtual world, then everyone could be in their own virtual worlds on their physical world. So, I know that's a bit of a, it seems a little convoluted and stuff, but, I found it interesting. I like to hear from Loeb. I'm super interested in space as well. I really like SpaceX. I follow a lot of stuff regarding that. I've always been interested in, going to space one day. I think that with commercial space booming, that'll also be the case. Anyway, let's not get off track here. So, virtual reality possibly might solve Fermi's paradox, according to Loeb. So, yeah, that's that. If you think, I'll include a link to the article below. If you agree with Avi here, if you don't, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the content, give me a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will talk to you guys next time with the Metaverse update number 20. Thanks again. Bye.